Translation Event Service where we expect to be lifted up today. Why? Because God said it is finished. God said, prepare the way for the King of Kings and Lord of Lords to come and rapture his bride off the face of the earth. So we are preparing the way. We are the translated tribe. We today we will walk like Enoch walked, and we have prepared the way like John. God said, ye know the day and the hour, because ye are my friends. So Enoch knew, Elijah knew, and so we know it's today and it's this hour. So if you don't see a service in the morning at this channel, we have been removed, and you will see one if we're here, because for 11 years now we have been able to meet up twice a day, every day. I did take little less than a 2-year break from doing the services, but I never took a break from doing videos and telling people the Lord's coming. I just was, at some point, I was being so tested in my faith. I was being promoted and purified, and it was behind the scenes, and I just couldn't advertise everything I was going through online. And I'm happy to advertise stuff I go through as the Lord leads. No one should ever just go on a social platform and say everything about your life unless the Lord has told you to do that. So I want to say that, like, there's wisdom in sharing, and just so the Lord is smart. He knows everything that we should and shouldn't do. So for the most part, we bear our soul. We have no secrets, but there's been some challenges and struggles that, just are best left between God, and God can handle it. Not everyone can handle seeing, people want to picture you the way they want to picture you to encourage themselves, and that's okay. And if that's what they need to do in order for someone like me to help you, then I'm happy to do that. And I'm happy to fit that mold in your mind of what it looks like. But I'm also here to tell you that I'm a real human being, and everything I'm doing, you could do if the Lord told you to, and you should do. Like everything He has required of me, I'm fully capable of doing because He prepared me. God doesn't just like get up one day and say, here's what you're going to do, without ever preparing you. So I'm getting my butt kicked right now in terms of faith, and I feel like I've failed a little bit, and I've been stressing more than I should, and going into some comfort eating habits more than I should have this week. It's just there's a lot coming up, and there's no excuse. But I'm in a process of growth. So to the best of my ability, I'm walking in faith, obedience, and love, because I know without faith it's impossible to please Him. If I love Him, I obey Him. My sheep hear my voice, and they know me. So we walk in faith, obedience, love, power, authority, resiliency, miracles, signs, and wonders, unity, humility, repentance. We reject pity, poverty, pride, orphan, and victim spirits. Instead, we embrace the spirit of sonship by which we cry, Abba, Father. To the best of our ability, we walk in generosity of time, energy, money, resources, because we know none of it's ours, it's all His. And to the best of our ability, we surrender and submit all areas of our life to the Lord. And you know what? One step forward, 2 steps back. If you go 1 step forward, you're still ahead, even though you went back. Because when you go back, you're like, I don't want to be here. I don't want to live like this. I don't want to do this. And it's just the way it is. So if anyone is feeling like a failure today, let me encourage you. So am I. But God knew what He was called. He knew what He was getting into when He called each one of us to this walk. He was like, look, Judy, you're going to prepare the way. Now, He didn't sit and tell me this all at once. I'm just saying, like, this is what He was thinking when He created me. You're going to prepare the way for me for a one-time event. I'm going to put a little band of people around you, and y'all are going to do it together. So there's going to be 4 of you preparing the way, but I'm going to use your son in an unusual way, and then I'm going to do what I need to do with him, and so he's going too. But then I'm going to mess with your perfect little life that I really blessed you with good credit and all that, and I'm going to tweak you out. I'm going to make you trust me, and you're going to have hard issues because of the way you were brought up. It's going to be extra hard for you. It's hard for everyone. Don't feel bad, Judy. But I know when I created you, when I created you to do this job, I knew probably the worst thing you were going to do was overeat. And I needed that I needed that kind of failure to do what you're doing. I couldn't use another kind of failure. Now, you will have other failures, but that's mostly the worst thing that because I ate too many apples and oranges today. I was just stress eating. And I knew I shouldn't be doing that, but I was just like, God, please. And I didn't really enjoy it, so but listen, insert your name, whatever it is he's called you to do. And listen, I support other ministries, and most of them are not public ministries. They're just, everyone is a minister once you receive Christ. But whatever you are doing in your life, just remember when you feel like a failure, like I feel like a failure today, because I kind of went off the rails with my eating, because I just guess I have to admit I'm under a bit of pressure. And I said, Lord, but it's like I could have chosen better, but I just messed up. And I'm just like, Lord. But he was like, listen, I was in the shower, I was feeling really sad. I'm like, I'm sorry, God, I just a little stressed. And he was like, remember, I knew what I was getting into when I called you to prepare the way. I knew the sin that was going to try to keep you from your highest, place of peace in me. And I am fully capable of helping you. And I'm fully aware. So just relax. Just forgive yourself. And move on, And I'm like, but if I die, if I have a heart attack because I ate too much, I mean, you could. I said, I'm sorry, Lord. I ate like 3 apples and 4 oranges, and I was like, Lord, if I have a heart attack, I'm so sorry. I'm a bit dramatic, but he is too. He's the drama king of kings. And I'm made in his image, and so are you. And listen, I do though, because I just was like, God, I'm so sorry. I'm just a little stressed. What you're asking me to do in the next 2 weeks, 3 weeks, is super duper scary. We've never been to these places. It's one thing, and I had my list, and I just said, never mind, I don't even want to talk about it. You already know. And he smiled, and he actually told me that I know, that I ate too much, but at the same time, he told me kind of a necessary step. So listen, don't go try to mess up. That doesn't give God any glory. But kind of knowing that I was going to mess up and this was a necessary step to get to the next level, it kind of made me feel better. So I'm in a much better mood now, but I think I just felt led to share this. So if I'm not disqualified, you're probably not either. So, I shouldn't speak for everyone but I'm just going to say, if to the best of your ability, you're heeding what God is saying, rely on his grace. But if you're someone that you're not even trying and you're just lazy and sloppy, God's going to deal with you. There's that out there too. I've had to deal with that in this walk with people. I'm like, look, anyway, but a sluggard is not a good thing. And I cannot emphasize that enough. I cannot emphasize that enough. For me, I have to slow down, but there's others that I know that need to get busy. Come on, get up, get off your tush and be healed, and go do what the Lord says, and and there's many reasons, and that God is dealing with all of humanity. Let's not forget that when he is created us, he knew all the sins that we would encounter, and which of us would have different struggles with different ones. And when he died on the cross, he took all that into account. And then he said, look, this one over here this one's a high-end sinner. This one's a low-end sinner. This one's sort of in the middle. But no matter what, a sinner is a sinner, and they need me. Now, the high-end sinners, the low-end sinners, the medium sinners, everyone's going to have to reap what they're sowing, no matter what, even when you're forgiven. There's usually a consequence to pay. Sometimes God will erase the consequence, but for the most part, he doesn't, so that we learn, we grow, we don't do it again. If he was to erase every consequence, we would probably go back into sin more often. But relapsing into sin is not abnormal. So I just want to encourage you, as I'm encouraging myself, that um, it's how we behave. And please do not try to contact me, giving me advice, feeling sorry for me. I don't feel sorry for myself. I don't. The Lord is helping me. I'm sharing this in order to encourage you. I'm not sharing this because I need. I don't want any therapy. Sometimes when you are vulnerable like this, people send you the weirdest stuff, and you're just like, oh my gosh, I'm sharing this to encourage you. I'm fine. Like, literally, I'm fine. I'm doing fine. I really am. It's just I thought I was over comfort eating and stress eating for the most part. And I think I am for the most part, but I've just been facing some things that I need to be doing, and I'm nervous. Anyway, so it's all good. God is so good. We are actually driving. There's huge storms where we're going right now, today and tomorrow. And when we leave on Thursday, they're cleared up, which is crazy. And one of the places we're going to is getting like blizzards, and it looks like by the time we have to actually drive through the stuff, it'll be resolved. Which is wonderful because God is amazing. We have to go do our declaring, but just take heart. I know I'm pleasing the Lord. I know he's proud of me, and I know that I am a sinner, and I am an overcomer sinner. I'm not a continual habitual sinner. I'm overcoming sin. And I actually really want to just erase this video right now. I really want to erase this video. I'll leave it up if he tells me to. But God bless everyone. Listen, if we were alive back in the days of Abraham and Sarah and Moses and Noah, I really think that they'd be live streaming and saying things like I'm saying. I really do. I really think that because all these years went by and we just see the main stories, the day in and the day outs. I'm just telling you, I think it would be like this. Like, not every day is a mountaintop day. It's just not. And this isn't even a bad day. Today was not a bad day. It was just, I was grappling with the things in front of me, and I just got a little discouraged. And I just went into a little bit of fear. And it just felt so good to eat that apple and then the orange, and it was so delicious. And it was in contrast to the stress. And then I had a moment of pleasure because it tasted so good. And I just wanted that moment of pleasure to continue because of the stress, and I just needed to unload it on the Lord. And, I feel like some part of me still thinks, and I think it's a problem with all of creation, that we're bugging the Lord, that we should have gotten over something by then. When I get nervous, I like to chew, and so I usually have gum on hand. And then I quit chewing gum, but then I started chewing it again. And, God would let me do that, but then I quit chewing it and I was going to him. Just nervous habits, and it's just the way it is. And I really believe that every now and then, because I mostly am overcomer and successful in everything he's telling me to do, I think it's important to just make videos like this once in a while to show you that even like someone like me who's out here and really pleasing the Lord, I know I am, and I'm kicking butt. I know I am. I'm kicking butt. I'm helping I'm doing a lot of stuff behind the scenes, helping a lot of people, killing it on a lot of levels. And, you just have to understand, if I'm having days like this, you need to not feel bad that you're having. Noah's had days like this. Moses had days like this. Abraham had days like this. This wouldn't be the true gospel. This wouldn't be totally 100%. And I have shown my weaknesses before, don't get me wrong. But I don't know if it just needs to be done. I just felt like I just needed to say. So this is not a cry for help video. This is a sharing that we all have days, and I hope it makes you feel better. I hope it makes you feel better that, man, and Judy's going in the rapture, and God loves her, and she struggles, and she's overcome a whole bunch of areas. In this one area, this comfort stress eating area, she had a hold of it, and it just got the best of her, but she's back. I'm back. I'm fine. It could have been like the old days where I ate way more and kept it up for 2 or 3 days and ate myself to where I was literally, but it was just some fruit, but still, it's not okay. And it just made me sad because I'm like, I thought we overcame this, so definitely not what I was a year ago. And definitely am at the weight he told me to get to. I'm going to have to do some fasting. But it wasn't just today. It's been, this last 3 days have been really hard, and I have been doing everything God's telling me to do. But I honestly, I feel like where I went wrong was I wasn't being 100% authentic with the Lord, with where I was at. And I think that's where I went wrong. And I was stuffing. And then also, it feels good to eat something that tastes really good. And so I was enjoying that pleasure. So it was a combination of flesh pleasure and stress. It was a combo. It was a combination burrito. Anyway, it's good to examine yourself, but you shouldn't sit there and nitpick yourself all day. After this, I will not bring it up again. It's over. It's very important to move forward, to understand that God knew what he was getting into when he created each one of us to do what he's called us to do. He created our circumstances, he created our strengths, our weaknesses, and he knew, he knew David was going to fail in certain ways. He knew Moses was going to fail in certain ways. He knew Abraham would, but he still called them. But he said mostly they're going to be successful because mostly they're going to get the job done. And there's not one human being that was going to be able to do it perfect. So when he chose each one of us to do the things that he's called us to do, he made sure that our weaknesses were going to, be something that was lining up with the job, kind of a thing. No sin is good, trust me. Don't get me wrong. No sin is good. It's all bad. It's all bad. Gossip is just as bad as murder. It's just all bad. Some sin has greater consequence. But I did tell the Lord today, I said, Lord, if you let me live to prepare the way, I appreciate it. I've abused my little earthly tent, and I just hope it lasts. And I felt like he said, it will last. Just, keep doing what you know to do, and just know that there's an enemy out there that wants to take us out. And sometimes we get so tired, we're just like, then just kill him. But I don't want to do that. It's just, we're human. And sometimes we just need to shut our eyes, put 2 cucumbers over our eyelids and rest. And I almost did that today. I almost just did that. And I should have, but I didn't. I just got engaged in other things that I had to do. And then while I was doing them, I was nervous and stressed. And here's what I want to finish with at this service. God is really big, and he's very gracious and very kind. I do take it seriously. Marty, you okay? You want to go for a walk? You just did a cough. Are you okay? That didn't sound good. I love you. He had a weird cough. You doing okay? You look like you need to go on a walk. Let's go on a walk. I'm going to end the service by saying God is really big and he's really kind and he's good, and I really appreciate that. And I thank you, God, for the honor and privilege of preparing the way this one-time event. It's like huge, and I feel like I sometimes I don't feel worthy of the job, but I am, and I didn't choose it. It was chosen for me, and Mary didn't choose to be the mother of Jesus. It was chosen for her. Like, and just go down the list. Put your name in whatever it is that you're called to do, which is be a good employee, be a good parent, grandparent, cat mom, like whatever your realm of what he's put you in, and just do it to all your heart, and just forgive yourself and move forward. But at the same time, take it serious. Like, I take it very seriously. Sin, it's not good. It's ugly. And on the other side of overcoming sin is this huge wide open field of glory. And I've been tasting it and touching it and experiencing it a lot. And I love it. Sin is overrated. Like, eating all those apples and oranges was way overrated. Like, it's just overrated. It was stupid because it's just overrated. Like, the glory and the peace and the pleasure of God is in a measure that's overboard is way better. And I still had his peace. I still have his peace right now. But I could have pressed in for a greater measure. I could have, and I still can, and I will. Um, but I just kind of fell back and just like, I don't, you know. And honestly, if you're actually doing and operating in real faith, you are going to have moments of, this is crazy. Like, this, I'm so out of my comfort zone. I'm so out of my realm that this is probably normal, because I felt like that's what he told me in the shower, that this was part of the plan, and I didn't want to receive that because I'm like, no, I know better. I didn't need to do this, but he was basically telling me this was part of the plan. Like, just, it's okay. Like, so that made me feel better. And I think some part of human nature we want when we do something wrong, like, I feel like I was waiting to get beat up. Like, no, you need to beat me up, and God's not beating me up. And I'm just like, well, then I'll beat me up. And God's like, no. And I just feel like sometimes, depending on your personality or your background, there's just something in us that just, like, I'm not worthy of that kind of grace, that kind of love. Like, I can do better than that. And God knows it, but it's necessary. It's necessary. It's our failures. I think it keeps us humble. I think it's necessary. I think there's a way deeper purpose of it being necessary, but I just believe him when he said it was necessary. Like, I felt like he said it was a necessary part of the next leg of the journey that I have to do. So my tails are between my leg. I'm real low right now. I'm going to, I'm way out of my comforts, way in over my head, way in over my head on this next assignment. So I love you. I'm going to end the service. God bless everyone. Stay in over your head, because God won't let you sink if you keep believing, and we'll be flying before we sink. See you in the air. Bye-bye.